We go 0 to 100 real quick.
This is 0 to 100
with Natasha and Serena. And we are live. Natasha and Serena.
What's up, Natasha?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, girl. What a week.
I know. Same here.
What a week. I don't know why I have shoes on right now. I'm taking those off. Who needs shoes on in the house? Woo, okay.
I'm excited to be back. Hope everybody out there is excited for this show. We want to hear from you as always. We want you to comment, ask questions, and at the end of the show, we'll definitely post them and answer them and talk back.
Yeah, man. All right. What are we celebrating today?
I don't know. So I'm going to celebrate the fact that I started this week like on a meal plan. I'm meal prepping, exercising, doing going the whole 9 because I want to, drop a few pounds. And so I have my shake here today. That's what I'm going to be toasting.
Oh, nice.
So I'm celebrating that I'm starting that.
What flavor is it?
It's chocolate. I don't really like any of the other flavors. I don't know what the brand is, but it's like veggie protein shake.
Oh, okay. Aw. Well, I'm going to celebrate my girl Kamala Harris Harris being chosen and being the first Black woman and one of only few women to ever make it to, as a major party candidate. So that's a major accomplishment.
It is.
Going out of order, but that's my 0 to 100 moment too, because I was so gung-ho for Bernie Sanders that I was not a fan. I knew her track record as a prosecutor. I was not a fan when she was running for president. And people that I know and respect endorsed her, and I was like, meh. But when the protests started, her response to a lot of what was going on surprised me. And slowly but surely, before I even, knew that she was a candidate for the VP position, she grew on me. So I turned into a fan. So I thought that everyone was going to be excited because everyone was so supportive of her from what I saw when she was her president. And I'm like, wait, what's going on? There's so much negativity swirling. And I'm just like,
that's also, we are getting ahead of ourselves, but that's my 0 to 100 too, because I'm just like, at this point, I don't care if he would have picked Kermit the Frog. At this point, it's kind of like, I think you posted something on social media was just like, it's not a marriage. You gotta it's a bus route. So get on the bus that's going the closest to where you're going. And I'm like, exactly. So at this point.
What ticket has ever been perfect?
Exactly.
But no ticket. So, but what also took me 0 to 100, because this is going to be an opportunity for everyone to see how awful Black women are treated. It's going to show, because not enough people are coming to her aid to stand up for her. So it's show how Black women have to always just be strong and take whatever and still rise above. When they go low, you go high, and still, be smart, be strong, be all these things, while no one is, coming, let's defend her. But I'm going to defend her because she is one of us, and we need to stick together. And I don't give a flip if she had 17 toes and that just bothers you. Look at what they're up against.
Right. Be quiet about it right now.
Can you please find the good in that and just roll with it? And let's go.
Yeah, it's been a crazy week, I think, for women of color. I feel like in the news and the media, even down to the Cardi B and is it Cardi B? Cardi B shows you how much I know pop culture, but Cardi B and
Meg Thee
Stallion song and all the backlash for that. And I'm just like, okay, hip hop has been this brand for the longest, and all of a sudden we're upset about it. So I don't know. It's been a crazy week for us.
That's how it's been a crazy forever for us. And I think that now it's about to play out so that it's going to be so clear. But that's actually a great transition into what we're talking about, because that's an example of polarization.
Yes.
And, I'll let you introduce it, but just to make that connection, people just get so stuck on whatever side they're on, and it's, that way and no other way. So they do whatever to defend it. And even when you come with a logical response, what about this song by Kendrick Lamar that no one found anything wrong with? Did you guys like Trina back in the day? Like, what's the issue here?
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was really important for us to talk about social polarization, especially in the age of social media, because we're on our phones all day long and all we're doing is reading, what other people are saying, and we're getting these news articles, whether they're credible or not, and where it's feeding into our views and what we think and how we feel, and then we spew it back out. So basically, I just wanted to read it because I know when we talked about it before, and a lot of people don't really necessarily know what it is when they hear the term. Social polarization or group polarization refers to the tendency for a group to make decisions that are more extreme than the initial inclination of its members. So it's basically saying that you as an individual wouldn't necessarily have these extreme views as you would when you associate yourself or you get into a group where everybody's throwing out these same ideas, and all of a sudden it becomes super extreme. And I think we're seeing a lot of that now, especially we're coming up on the presidential election, and we're seeing a lot of it. And social media, I mean, I work in marketing communications, and I know that Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, all of those platforms, their algorithms look at what you click on, what you share, what you talk about, and then they try and feed you more of what you're interested in. And that can be a good thing. But sometimes in this situation, I feel like it could be a bad thing, because the more you're like, oh, I hate X, Y, and Z, it's like, oh, you do? So here's more hate for X, Y, and Z. And it just feeds into it. And nowadays it feels like when you log on to any of the social media platforms, everyone is so divided. And so I feel like it's important just for us really to talk about it.
Let's talk about it then.
Yes. So yeah, it's just basically about that. And I mean, I have considered myself, even coming up onto the election, it's just like, maybe I should just take a break from social media, because the closer we get to the election, the more I'm just like, I really don't want to hear what everybody has to say, because it can anger you. And then I know people I know personally, when I see them on social media, the things that they post, and then you're like, well, when I know them, and like I know them personally off of social media, and I feel like it's not that what they're posting. And so I'm like, why is it so, why are the thoughts and feelings so extreme? And why are we not able to, as a society, find a middle ground, not necessarily always compromise on our values and what we believe, but just listen to other people and be able to hear them out and be able to explain what our side or our point of view is without like the extreme clashing. What do you think?
I mean, I think that there is, but it requires a certain level of education. And I just think that you are just so small-minded when you can't, sit there and listen, not just let someone speak and hear what they're saying just enough so that you can formulate your counter to what they're saying. Like, actually listen and receive what they're saying and respond back. And then they do the same thing. And then they respond to you. And it's just, like, that's just such a normal adult thing that all of us should be able to do. And with everything that's going on, most presently, politics, obviously, and, the racial issues with all the things going on, and these discussions are happening, I'm like, wow. Like, not only is common sense not so common, like, just regular, like, the level of intelligence that you would think that just the average adult would have to where you can have a conversation. No. And it's not even like it's not like college educated intelligence. Like, it's not that. It's just the fact that, like, you understand, like, as a child, you walk in the class in a single file. Like, I think it's that elementary as far as like having a discussion. But everyone now, not everyone, because I definitely don't do this foolishness, but a lot of people, all they want to do is just like defend their point. Exactly. It spirals out of control. And I'm sure we've all like been in that position where we like, wait, I don't even care about this anymore. Like, why am I still debating, or why am I still arguing about this? And now, if I realize that in the middle of a discussion, an argument, whatever, I literally will be like, yeah, you're right. Like, I don't even care. Or I will receive it and be like, you know what, you got a good point. I want that to trend. This polarization thing is I think is very like detrimental to society and for the younger generations. Like Gen Z, they grew up with this. So tell me how this ties into polarization, because when I think of it, what I think of is, you know, you deciding like if you're what's like Barty Gang is like Cardi B's like troop, and then Beyonce has like the Beehive. Like if you're so like gang for like your celebrity or whatever, it doesn't matter if they do wrong. It doesn't matter if the person, what the person is saying about them is actually valid. You just defend it blindly, like it doesn't matter. So I think like people have that same type of reasoning for everything. So like when you, so this is the part that I want you to like tie in, like how is this polarization, or is this like not even it? Like am I on the wrong page? But what I think of is like when, so now we Google everything, right? Literally, like I don't think about a response to a question more than maybe 10 seconds. And if I don't know, I'll be like, hold on. Because, you know, we can't be wasting that brain energy trying to figure something out on our own when it's so readily accessible. But now, because everyone Googles, the information, whatever information is there. So now it's not like you're Googling to find out what the answer to the mathematical equation actually is. You're Googling to find support for your position.
Exactly.
So I want that to not be a cool thing anymore. Like, I don't like when people say, look at this. And it's like, bruh, like that is not a valid source. Or blindly posting stuff online, like they don't fact check it. They don't even read the full article. Like
not anymore. They may read like the first line, but it's really just the headline. Click on it, share.
Yeah, like the big part in bold. I'm guilty of it too, but if I don't have the time to at least read the full article and say I'm just commenting on this, then I don't post it. Like if I just skim it for me, then fine. But I really have an issue with people that say, instead of saying like, oh, I hear what you're saying, like what your position is, I didn't consider that. Let me think about it, or let me look into that more. And then actually Googling a general statement, not isn't black the best color ever? Saying what is the most popular color in the nation right now. But like you can tailor your Google searches and then come in like,
and Google will give it to you.
Of course. Like literally everybody uses the internet. I bet 5-year-olds are Googling. My grandmother Googles. So it's like straight across the board, from like the youngest kids to the, you know, our great grandparents are now Googling. So like how does that tie in, connect to what the general state description or definition of what polarization is? And then I want to talk about how we're going to fix this. We got to save the world, girl.
Yeah, well, okay. One show at a time. We're going to save the world. No, I really think that it's because it's all about community. Like, so we tend as human beings want to be around other people, like-minded people that are, you know, culturally like us, or in similar ways. And so what I feel like the internet has done, social media has built these like virtual communities, and you can tie Google into that, like the searches that you're doing. And so you like when you log onto your phone, you kind of know it's like an alternate reality. It's your little safe place. You know, you're going to see what you want. You know, you can get what you want. It's your own little world or community. And so I feel like that ties in, like being able to find whatever information you want to support your feelings just ties into the whole community of this digital community that we have. And then social media is really just, I feel like, where it's all centered right there, because that's where we share with other people without even having to connect with them personally. We can just share our feelings, spew out our feelings, and then they say, yeah, you're right, exactly. Let me find other things that are exactly like that. Let me find other posts. Let me find other people who feel the exact same way. And then it just perpetuates. And then what we have is like the society that continues to like grow. These groups are growing, I feel like, further and further apart. And the more you have other people backing you, we all know it. Like when you have other people backing you in your point of view, what do you care what other, like if people are going against you, you're like, but me and my people, you know, we think what we think is right. Like, so what would you say?
Right.
I don't have to listen to you. I don't have to hear you out. And that's, I feel like, what we see on social media. I have never, like, I've tried it. I have never really seen like a meaningful conversation happen in like a Facebook thread, like in the comment section. Like, it always, like, when people are trying to give their different point of views, it very rarely goes in a meaningful direction. Like, it very rarely you see people come together and be like, you know what, I see what you're saying, but here's no, it gets real, like 0 to 100. I mean,
real quick.
Yeah. And I feel like, and then also like social media, because you're behind the screen, there's no real social interaction. You are bolder. Like, you feel like I can say whatever, like, I don't care, you know? And so I think that feeds into the extremeness as well, because you're just like, they can't do nothing to me. He won't check me, you know? So
fingers, you know, get you in trouble.
Right.
I can definitely say that, like, people have never said the kind of things to my face that, like, they've said to me online. And strangers, like, you would never walk up to a stranger that you over here talking about something in Starbucks, not even talking to you, and jump all in their conversation with some hateful, like, one-sided BS.
Exactly.
Like, maybe, you know, once in a blue moon, you look at that person like, they're crazy. They just jumped over here in our conversation. But online, that happens all the time. It's like, who even are you? Like, where you come from? Who are you?
Exactly. And it's always the people that, like, never comment on your regular life things. It's like they're just waiting for you to post, like, something that they hate, or maybe Facebook is waiting to show them something that they hate.
Yeah.
You never know with the algorithms. I mean, I would be interested to even see how much. I mean, I don't know if anybody's really talking about this. We know that the social media, the different platforms, their algorithms feed you what you want based on what you look at. But how much of it are they, like, I don't know, how much of a role are they playing into trying to help people come together more, rather than fueling the fight, you know, the divisiveness.
Listen, if you air MMA or a boxing fight the same time you air somebody getting married, unless it's like Prince and Princess whoever, they gonna watch the fight. Like, people want to see the drama.
Exactly.
So I can kind of see benefits, you know, to polarization. And I say that because when I was describing, you know, like the Beehive and Barty Gang, and then, you know, Rihanna got the army, like, that's loyalty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want my friends to ride for me like that too. Like, I want them to not even, you know, they don't even have to hear the full story when somebody's talking negative about me, and they're gonna be like, not my Natasha. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's loyalty. But I think that it goes too far and it misses the point. Like, when you go beyond just like Beyonce's the greatest singer, and you go into like, I will kill you, because you just get so caught up in the fact that you're just supposed to be like just on this, you know, pathway to advocate and be for this person. But that also makes me think about the bots, right? So bots were a huge issue with the last presidential race,
right,
4 years ago, and everyone knows that they played a part. So I think my first real experience with them going ham on me was when I said something negative about that song that Nicki Minaj had with that guy with the colorful hair. Flip is his name, 69 or something. Tekashi 69. Yeah. And people just came out of nowhere, and they say like really hateful things, but their agenda is to go against whomever is not like in their like little club or gang or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So they're not there, but like by accident. It's not just them strolling by and overhearing someone say something negative about their leader, and they're being like, no, that's not right. Mm-hmm. These people are planted. By whom? So like, who is pushing this polarization? Because it has to be the agenda of someone. And so like, when I'm trying to like break down, because I was new to this term too. So this social media and political polarization, I'm like, polarization, like sunglasses? Like, what? I'm kidding. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking like, what exactly does that mean? Thinking of the actual definition of polarization. But then it kind of made me think like, is it different now because of social media? Like, were people not engaging in this type of one-sided view, just support my position, period, before the internet was so popping? Or has it always been like a thing? Like, I really wanted to try to like break it down and think, you know what I'm saying? Because now it seems like somebody's pushing it on everyone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally agree. And I always feel like behind everything, there's like somebody with a whole bunch of money who has time to like think about these things and then put their money behind it. So I definitely think that could be the case. There's probably, who knows, behind whatever agenda it is, you know? And but to answer your question about whether polarization was a thing before social media, I definitely think it probably was, but probably not to the extent that it is right now. I think it was way smaller based on towns, cities, states,
yeah.
Because people didn't have the means to communicate across distances as we do now. But now I just think that when you take away the social interaction, because of like with social media, a lot of kids now, Gen Z, they aren't interacting with people on the level that we grew up interacting with people, and then the generation before us. And so I think that plays a part in making it so extreme and such a big thing now, and seeing such a divide. Like, I feel like we're more divided than ever. And of course, I feel the current administration definitely plays into it. So when, like in our country, when you have leadership that is playing into the divisiveness, and then we have social media that's reinforcing it in our everyday lives, and it's just I feel like it's getting worse and worse. And so I just, like you said earlier, what can we really do to fight against it when we have forces like you're talking about, bots or algorithms or things like that are like, we don't even see that. Like, who's thinking about that when they log on to Facebook? Right. How can we really fight against that as individuals?
Yeah, I don't know. Or how can we flip it to where it's like a beneficial type thing? Like, I really want to make it trends. I want to make it be like in style, that like it's a cool thing to do, to listen to someone else's point and then change your mind. Like,
right. It's okay.
Yeah, you don't have to just be stuck on this one side. Like, you know, I am listed as a Democrat, but that's because I wanted to vote in the primaries last time. But before, I was like independent, because you know, I see principles on both sides that I like, things that favor me. Like, I want to create my own little party, be like a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and then that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not just gonna sit there and argue blue. You know, I'm just not going to do that. Right. One of the examples that I saw online was like, you know, if you were supporting Bernie, then you're going to be like, Hillary Clinton lied, like gross. But then when Hillary Clinton won and now she's against Trump, it's like, oh, now for Hillary Clinton, because you're just like, you're blue, like whatever. Right. You know, there could be other reasons why you would jump that same way, because I definitely did. I went from Bernie to Hillary because that's just the way it went. Now I went from Bernie to Biden because that's the way it unfolds. But it's not to the point where it's like I'm losing sight of what's happening. Like, I'm not just gung-ho. Like, my total position about Biden didn't change just because I just completely support like the Democratic ticket. Like, it's blue and I don't care, and like I'm gonna advocate for it. Like, why can't it be cool to have a conversation where when someone does make a good point about something that the guy that's in there now, Trump, that like he does something good. If someone was to say something that he did good, I would be like, yeah, that's a good point. That was one good thing he did. But it, like, let's go. Like, we can still talk about the other stuff, but like, people will literally still in their mind agree, but their brain like won't let them that one thing or change their mind. Right. And I think that is like the younger kids. So thinking like that for the first 20 years of your life, imagine how that brain development, like the direction that brain development is going to go. You're going to be incapable of switching, right? You can look online and find support for whatever position. And that's terrifying to me. Like, it really, really is.
Yeah. And I think what we need to start seeing is a lot of what we saw are, you know, people who are white people what we saw them doing when just a few months ago, and I hope they're still doing, was when we were talking about what happened to George Floyd, and we were having open dialogue about racism and systemic racism. You saw a lot of people saying, okay, well, whoa, I didn't know this was going on. Let me try and see if I can, like, I didn't see that. It's not on my timeline. It's not in my world. I don't go to the store and see that. Let me read about it. Let me do some research. And I saw a lot of people doing that. I saw a lot of people asking questions. And I think that's what it will probably take for everyone, not just about racism, but about every issue. I mean, we could all, if you're Democratic, maybe read about some of the other candidates on the other side. What are their a lot of people are so gung-ho on their one lane. They have no idea what a candidate stands for or doesn't stand for. And so even when it comes to, I feel like, religion, and when it comes to education, and nothing is so black and white. And I feel like in this country, that's what we push. We push, like, which side are you on? Pick a side.
Yep.
Or you're either that. And like, you have to, you can't be middle of the road, and so I just feel like it's going to take us saying, it's okay to be like you said, take a little from here and take a little from here, and to form your own opinion, to form your own idea of how you think it will work.
Mm-hmm. I have to admit, I think I'm guilty of it though. Like, especially when it comes,
we all are, definitely.
Some topics where it's like, what you gonna say to me? Like, you can't change my mind about white supremacy. Like,
right.
I'm not gonna be able to have a conversation with a white supremacist, and they're gonna be able to say something to make me say, I get it. I get why one race, the white race should always be superior over every other race. So glad we had this conversation. So, but I mean, there could be other benefits to having a conversation with them. Like, I ain't gonna do it. But, like, if I look online, I'm definitely not gonna look for their message boards. And, I don't watch Fox News, but I have had that discussion because I feel like, man, sometimes maybe I should, like, see what they're talking about, what's going on, on Fox News. Why do they think like this? Mm-hmm. And I think that's important. But even when I do that, I'm still Googling to support my position on certain things.
Right.
So, I mean, like you said, we're probably all guilty of it, but that's one place where I can recognize, like, oh yeah, because there's no flipping way I'm going to Google anything in the middle of the road when it comes to racism in America. Like,
right. And those ideas, like the feelings we have about racism, religion, politics, they all kind of come from how we grew up and, like, our family. And sometimes you do see people kind of go the other way when they grow up in a certain household and have a negative experience. But most times, if we don't have that negative experience, we kind of just follow along with what we were taught as we grew up. And so it's really hard to kind of steer everybody away from that. And I feel like that's where it all starts. And then, you get on social media and you find like-minded people. And so, like you said, like, it would be really hard for somebody to have, like, for you to have a conversation with someone who maybe grew up as a white supremacist, like their mother is one, their father, their grandparents, or whatever. And it's just like, to them, that's life. Mm-hmm. And to you, that's not life. That life is like being anti-racist. So, yeah, I don't know how there would be a middle of the road on something like that.
I don't care. I don't need it. But I mean, I think racism is a human rights issue. So it's like, it's not like we're debating about, like, whether dogs or cats are superior. Like, this is literally like a discussion about human beings. And you're telling me that one is more important, not based upon anything but just the color of their skin. Like, miss me with that. Right. But I think that the bigger issue is, because I keep taking it back to things that require action and direction from the person. But we're in a situation where literally you don't have to Google. Like, I appeared by phone for a deposition. My co-counsel that was there in person had his iPad up and was taking notes during the depo. The deponent kept mentioning Firestone tires, like every time they would ask a question about anything to do with the car, he would say something about Firestone. Maybe like after the third or fourth time of him saying that, he sends me a screenshot and he's like, all of a sudden I'm getting all these ads for Firestone. The feds be listening hard. So you have to like, you know, him saying that, and maybe you're like, I don't know, Goodyear. I don't even know if they're the same thing or whatever, but like you're super like pro Goodyear. And then you say like, oh, I'm going to go online and find reasons why Firestone ain't it. You know, Goodyear is the best. You don't have to do it. Like just mentioning the stuff or just having a conversation. Like we're probably talking about stuff now and we're going to start getting ads or whatever.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. And then don't buy a pair of sneakers or like a new Nike sports bra every day. They're going to convince you that you need 15 more of the same thing because they know that you like that because you bought it. Right. So it's a marketer's dream, but it's like, geez, like if it wasn't for that, then I might have gotten, you know, an Adidas one and a, you know, Under Armour. Like I might have mixed it up, but they're kind of driving our focus and our attention unwillingly. Like we're not even looking for the stuff. We're just having normal conversation, and then it's just literally like falling out of the sky. Exactly. So I wonder how that's going to play into the like it's getting worse and worse and more directed every year. So where we were 4 years ago, they're way more advanced now.
Yeah.
Like stuff is already popping up on my Instagram, like sponsored ads and stuff about the campaign. I never get any ads about Trump. Nothing ever comes up. So
I see both. But you're right. Like, and even it's funny living in a household with someone else, like my husband, for him to come in and one day he'd be like, everybody is talking about so-and-so. And I'm like, they are? Like, I don't see anything about it. And he'll be like, yeah, like I'm seeing everything about this. And so it makes you feel like you are like in a different, like in his world, everybody is talking about it. And to me, I'm like, I haven't heard anything about that. Like, and it's just crazy that that's like the world that we live in.
It's convenient, but it's scary when it comes to the fact that everything is so polarized. Everything is so black and white. Everything or supposed to be, you know. So like you said, it makes you feel like, oh shucks, I gotta pick a side. Like, which side do I want? And it's like you're gonna probably pick whatever's in your face the most, or whatever your friends and family are doing. I be trying to go against the grain. Well, not trying to, but I tend to like go against the grain on some stuff. So, but it makes it harder because typically, you know, kind of like resist a little bit, rebel. It's like there's so many ads to say the perfect thing that it's like, oh, well, this just makes so much sense. Like, let me just keep moving this direction.
Exactly. And I just on a lighter note, I hate those memes on Facebook that are like, it'll give you 4 choices or maybe 2, and it'll be like, one has to go. Which one? And it's like, why? Why do we have to choose? Why can't we just have all of them?
Wait, what is it now? Because I've never seen this.
It's like the memes, it'll be like a choice. Like if it's food, it'll be like breakfast food. It'll be like pancakes, bacon, eggs.
Oh, okay.
Like one has to go. And it's like, that's the society we live in. Like pick one and that's it. And it's like, why do we feed into that kind of anxiety? Why do we feed into this negative like energy of, you know, it's one or the other?
Yeah, that's why we should embrace songs like WAP, where it's 2 Black female rappers coming together on one song, talking about one topic. Like, look at that unity. We don't have to pick. We can love both of you.
Exactly. Exactly. On that note, do you want to go into 0 to 100, or do you want to start taking, we could take questions or comments?
Whatever you want to do. We kind of already talked about 0 to 100.
Okay. Well, let's take some, are there any questions? I can't see on my end.
Your husband said he thinks it's immature and that it maybe links to political agendas, and corporate interest, private prisons, invest in the music industry. See, and that's part of it. Like, you have like prisons controlling so much because it's such a profitable industry that they are guiding the direction of stuff. And like, of course, they want to drive things in a direction to where they're going to make more money. So what does that mean? They need more people going to prison. Right. So they give them more money. So them having so much influence on pop culture, you know, just the way things go, is terrifying. Like there should be regulations behind that, but there's none. Like
yeah. In this country, I mean, cash is king, and you see that the people with the money are the ones behind the scenes controlling everything, because they have the means to do so. And so when you have billion-dollar companies, people who own these private prisons, I mean, everything is at their disposal. What can they not do? You know,
it's crazy. I don't see any questions though. I don't see any questions.
Okay, cool. Well, so I'll elaborate on my 0 to 100 because I didn't go 100% into it. But yeah, I wanted to talk about. I saw the WAP video came out and all the. I didn't actually even. Well, I did. I did watch the video. I was going to say, did I even actually watch the video? I did. I haven't really heard the song, but I saw all the, excitement about it. So that's my 0 moment. But then 100, and when it was like, people are like, well, we need to boycott this. And these women are, it's disgusting. And it's just too far for the kids to be watching this. And I was just like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, where is this coming from all of a sudden? Because where did those women even get that idea that was something that should go in a rap video? They got it from tons of rap videos that came before them. You can pull up any rap video right now. I mean, Tyga and whoever else have the craziest rap videos. You can pull them up right now. Chris Brown, it's just women in bikinis, thongs, shaking their butt or whatever it is that they do. And it's okay. It's not a problem because the man is the one singing. He's kind of controlling the whole scene. He has women falling all over him, and that's fine in our society. But then the moment that these two women, they do the same exact thing, but they're in control. Like there's no man there in the video, like telling them to do it. And then all of a sudden people are perplexed or like, whoa, this is disgusting, And I mean, we can quote lyrics for days from other rap songs that are way more disgusting, are way more absurd.
Way more absurd.
Yes. And nobody has said anything. Nobody has. I mean, there has been pockets here and there. People are trying to challenge it, but on a whole, no, there hasn't been a loud outcry against it. And so now it's just like, what was the straw that broke the camel's back? Like why the change in tone right now? Why are we trying to regulate rap music all of a sudden?
Social polarization, because it was one person said it and we were like, yeah. And then everyone was like dusting off their soapbox. Like, let me just talk about this. Like, they just need to have an opinion and it has to be black or white. Like either you are with it or you're not. And it's like, you don't have to have an opinion about everything. And I just thought it was absurd. Like there was like a congresswoman or someone who was running for something, like she spoke about it. And it's like, bruh, okay, if you don't like it, then just say you don't like it. But to be the subject of you like discussing it within your political platform, girl, go sit down somewhere. What are you even talking about? And I mean, people probably did have, like, there are people that probably do have take issue with some of the other rap songs. Those people should have the same type of issue with this song. Like, this is no way. And if you didn't have a problem with those songs, then why you got a problem with this one? And even if you do have a problem with this one and you didn't with the others, it should not be the center of what it is the center of. That's what's so annoying. And it's like you said, like in the video, if the girls are, being disrespected, then that's fine. We don't gotta respect black women. And then what do they say? Their defense in that is like, oh well, they don't respect themselves. Okay, well then let us not respect ourselves. Okay, right. All right, for y'all to talk about our body parts. We have white men dictating what kind of funding we get for our body parts, what we can do with our body. So why should this be different? Like who they thought they were going to make a whole song talking about, their own body parts and things that have to do with their body as black women, as women in general, and that would be allowed. They didn't check it off by, run it by the men first. You know what I'm saying? Like, how dare they do that? How dare they?
Right.
I think it's a vulgar song, but like you need to think this other stuff is just as vulgar. Like you need to be that same kind of mad.
Exactly. That's how I feel. I mean, I feel that black women are over sexualized. That's my personal opinion. But this video didn't like make me like be like, oh my gosh, it's really getting out of control. Like it's been, you know, things have been crazy. You know, these videos, like if you go all the way back to Jay-Z's Big Pimpin' video, there's like getting champagne like squirted on her in the video. And it's just like
swiped, who was it, Nelly, who swiped the credit card?
Yes.
Like people had a problem with that, but it wasn't like in the middle of a political campaign speech and we need to stop swiping cards between women's booties. This is absurd how we treat our Black women. Never. Like ain't nobody gonna speak on that. Ain't nobody gonna speak on that. And because we're used to just taking, we don't even really like receive it as true disrespect because it's art form, it's music, whatever. You bring that directly to me, I'm gonna, you know, have a different discussion, like face to face. If you talk to me like that, like some of the stuff that's in songs and movies and whatever. But same with this, like I just think like it's foolish.
Yeah.
I didn't see the video, but
I saw it. I haven't heard the song. I watched it on mute because I was trying to see what the fuss was about. I watch a lot of things on mute.
It's about the lyrics, girl.
I know what the title means. That's all. I feel like that's all we need to know. Let's see what it's about and keep it moving. But and I saw the video. I didn't really feel like I didn't feel like it was. I was waiting to see something crazy. Like I mean, I didn't feel like it was extra compared to what else is out there.
This is a great topic to end it on because this is social media polarization, because people want to be against something, they're going to be against it. And I feel like when some people have to like yank the wheel of the car from the passenger seat, you know what I'm saying? So if they're riding shotgun going in a certain direction and they're just going along for the ride. But as soon as there's an opportunity to whip it around, they take that opportunity. Because before, so many people were being supportive of Megan Thee Stallion after she got shot in the foot by that little boy. You know, people were like, "Oh, we're here for you." Da 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 da. And I think some people were just waiting in the weeds to try to like find something to go against her. Because you like look back to things that she's done is real iffy. It's like, you know, they sometime me with supporting Megan Thee Stallion outside of her like whatever her little group of supporters is called. I don't remember. But and she always takes it. Like, you know, she's real tough. So she didn't really, you know, like she not whatever. Y'all like me today? Okay. So I think Cardi B's the same way. It's like 1 minute everybody's for her, then the next minute they're finding the smallest thing wrong. And I think this was just an opportunity to whip that wheel. So it's like, oh, y'all put Kylie Jenner in the video. It should have been this person. It could have been that person. Da, da, da. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, Kylie might have paid for that spot and it's a business. So you don't like, why are we signing a petition? All I know is that I better not find a time to pull that petition and see the names of every person that signed that petition to get Kylie Jenner removed from that video and find not a one that also did not sign the petitions surrounding getting the cops arrested that murdered Breonna Taylor.
Oh, you know there are.
You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all got time for that? This nonsense.
Yeah. And you know what? And I think it's time that we like applaud women coming together. Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B are both on top of their game in the rap industry. And historically, we know that there's only allowed to be one woman on top, and we pit them, you know, against each other. And so let's applaud that they came together and were able to be friends, and then even wrote Kylie Jenner. And like, let's applaud women coming together, even if it is on some WAP stuff.
And there's a way. You gotta listen to the lyrics. Don't let Kristen hear, but you gotta listen to the lyrics.
Okay.
Some things in there. Okay, so Chris said, do you think hip hop culture is mainstream culture? Do you think it should represent Black culture as a whole today?
I definitely think hip hop is mainstream culture. We see hip hop almost in everything. In clothing, advertising, sports.
Oh, I forgot I can make
it. There we go. And so, yeah, it's definitely, to me, mainstream culture. I feel like it should represent Black culture as a whole. We all have different, some of us don't listen to hip hop. Some of us don't agree with that, you know? So, and like, they don't even care for hip hop. So I don't think it could represent us.
I think it can, because it definitely is a part of our culture, and it's so broad. So I think that some people who don't like really listen to music like that, you think of hip hop just being like one, like just rap or whatever. But there are some songs that are closer to like R&B that would be considered hip hop still. And then you have, conscious rap, and that through, like, from your husband. But I think it's so broad that there definitely is like something, there is some song within, hip hop, or some, not genre, but like some like sub type or whatever that you could vibe to. Is definitely a part of our culture.
Yeah, definitely.
I saw this video today. This little white girl posted a TikTok where she was saying that some DJ Slater created basically Chopped and Screwed, but she gave it like a different name. She was like, essentially, they slow the beat down to 90%, and then they tweak the something. She broke it all the way down and was like, see, this is how it goes. And then if you do it, like, girl, Slater, I don't even know who that is. Slater, DJ Screw started this, okay? Who's going? He's like the guy. What's his name? Like Kevin on the stage, Kevin something, and he's like, this was originated before you were even born, little girl. Like, they will do that. Like when Kim Kardashian started wearing cornrows, and they were like boxer braids. Girl.
Yes. Exactly. That's what happens. People reinvent it, and they take it, and then
reinvent nothing. They steal it, give it a different name, and then introduce it to the culture that didn't create it. Like they found something, bro.
It's the Christopher Columbus syndrome,
right? That's white people stuff right there. Because and they do it boldly too. They'll post a whole video. They'll trademark market the whole thing. Like when I saw a few years ago, the lady who came out with the sleeping, whatever she called it, it was a bonnet. Girl, what did you do that for? For your okay. Okay, last one. Should we hold hip artists? My contact lens is like falling out, so I'm like trying to read.
Yeah, right. Should we hold hip hop? I think the same hip hop artists morally responsible because of their platform.
Depends. Like if it's something, they should be held morally responsible to the extent of their reach, but as a person. So they can't be held responsible for, what their song does per se. You know what I'm saying? But like if they say some foolishness within it, because actually, Cardi B posted a tweet about the song, but it was actually Meg Thee Stallion's line, I think, about if he does something with the butt, he a bottom feeder. And I guess bottom feeder, I don't even remember, because this is all I heard about, all the drama before I heard the song. And I didn't know anything. I was like, well, I mean, what did she say? Then I heard it in the song, and it did match. Like it went with it, but she still tweeted, and she was like, this is just music. It's like as our art form, like we didn't know that we would be offended. And now since then, like, I've had conversation and I understand, like, I apologize. And I think that's the extent of it. Like, they're human beings, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And you have to look at what people sign up for. I mean, an artist, I don't feel we should hold, artists, athletes, I don't feel we could really hold them morally responsible. I mean, like you said, to an extent, but at what point, they signed up to be an athlete, play basketball or play football, or they signed up to be a rapper or whatever. They didn't really sign up for, I'm going to teach kids this. And I think as parents or people that are helping to raise children, we kind of have to, that's our job to kind of steer them towards, this is what you look to for moral guidance. This is what you look to for entertainment. This is what you look to for this. And if you have a kid looking to hip hop for moral guidance, then we have a problem. So
yeah, not be your moral compass. Like, come on. And then people will say like, oh, well, I can't keep the music from them. Listen, Bill Gates created the iPad and kept the iPad away from his kids.
Right.
How you can't keep stuff away from your kids? Like, just stop it. I feel like that's part of the culture too. Like, you want to be so stuck on whatever your position is and then blame everything else on everybody else. Like, no, like they can't carry the weight of raising your kids, making music, doing performances, working out, doing, like, come on. They have a job to do just like we do. So when I say like, within your reach, I do think that like, if I'm just like a regular Joe Schmo and I'm having a conversation and someone overhears it and then, I say like, oh, my bad, like that's where it starts and begins. But then if I'm someone who's like the principal of a school or something, I can't say the same thing, in front of my kids and then be like, it's not my responsibility to like back my tongue in front of all of y'all. So even someone who's a celebrity, yeah, you're still a human being, but you can't be reckless with as much of a reach that you have, like literally millions and millions of people see everything that you do. And you can't say anything reckless and then just think that you could just be like, oh, my bad, I ain't mean it like that. You just have to accept that. But at the same time, like, come on, like they be finding anything offensive. Did you see the socks that she had on the other day? I was just so appalled.
I know. I'm just, we have to start, like, I saw somebody commenting on Kim Kardashian the other day about how she's leading millions of young girls to do this or to have bad body image, to bad body image, whatever issues or whatever you call it. And I was just like, again, that's like, what her brand is, who she is. Like, why should she have to tailor? If that's what her brand is, I don't feel like she has an obligation to tailor it to, kids that follow her. I feel like it's an obligation.
All of a sudden, to not be Kim Kardashian because, like, now kids are watching her.
Right.
Then don't let your. So then, like, I mean, like, this is taking it extreme, but then, like, porn stars, like, they need to all be out of a job.
Right.
Kids have access to computers now. Like, they don't. It's not on the parents, it's on the people. So y'all gotta stop making porn. Y'all gotta stop doing all these things because the kids are what matter. The kids need to understand it's not all about them early.
And we have to rear them. You know what I just thought about?
What?
We were talking about polarization, and our name is literally it's polarized. It's like one end
to the other.
Yeah. So we're kind of like, our show is kind of like the definition, but we're able to disagree and still be like, still understand each other's point and be friends.
This is, what, you're right. We should be the poster child for what I was just saying, because literally, like, how many times have we come to talk about topics and we're like, we're 0 and 100, and then we come and it's like, oh, okay, like I see that point. Like, that's how that stuff is supposed to go. And you know what? We is smart and we is adults. We can have an adult conversation.
Exactly.
You gotta get y'all some of them. All right. Well, that was lit.
Yeah. Again, we want to remind you guys, you can still comment. We'll see it, even though it won't be live. You can share, like, subscribe on YouTube, and that's it. That's it for 0 to 100.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to like, share, subscribe at 0 to 100 Podcast.
Until next time, bye.